Hops bread is a huge part of our food culture here in Trinidad and Tobago. I feel like it doesn't get spoken about enough in the conversation about food. Now, when I was growing up, the kind of hops bread that I knew is not this modern day hops that we get in now. The hops bread I'm talking about is the long time traditional hops bread. It had a flaky, crispy crust, nice soft interior, but when you bite into it, it was a little bit chewy. Nowadays, the kind of hops bread you get in is kind of like dinner rolls. The hops bread I'm talking about when I say a classic hops bread. I'm talking about brown paper bag hops bread, no plastic bag business. So today, we're gonna get into it. Now, this is a recipe I have been testing for the past month or so, and I feel at a stage where I'm comfortable enough to share this recipe with you. But as time goes by, I think I might be tweaking it. So if I do any tweaks to it, I will update it on the website. So I'll post a link in the video description for that. But as I said, I think I'm at a stage here where the recipe is solid enough to share with you. You'll get great results. So let me get into it. Today, this is gonna be a classic. There's one for the books. Traditional hops bread. So this recipe calls for really basic ingredients. I have yeast, salt, brown sugar, but you could use white granulated sugar as well, lukewarm water. So the only special ingredient that I'm using in this recipe is bread flour or baker's flour. I'm not using all-purpose flour, so don't try to do this recipe and use all-purpose flour and tell me that it didn't come out the way mine come out. You need to use strong bread flour or baker's flour that has at least 12 grams of protein. That's going to allow for real nice gluten development, and we're going to get a nice soft bread. So you need to use this, our bread flour, baker's flour, and we're good to go. So as I mentioned before, this is a recipe that I have been testing for about a month or so now, and I actually took it very seriously because I brought out my digital scale, I weighed out my ingredients, I figured out the different hydration levels of each experiment. So today, the dough that I am making is a 65% hydration dough. And what does that mean? That basically is the ratio of flour to water in the dough. So yes, I did weigh out all the ingredients, so I have the ingredients by weight, but I also did the conversion for the average home baker like me, because I am, an average home baker. I am by no means a professional. I just wanted to give more precise results with this recipe because I think that, it was important to do in terms of testing and getting it right. So to begin with, we're going in with 455 grams of lukewarm water. And that roughly works out about 2 cups of water. We're going in with 8 grams of brown sugar. And that works out about 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. 10 grams of salt. And that's about 1 3/4 teaspoons of salt. And 8 grams of dry instant yeast. And that is 1 3/4 teaspoons of yeast. I want to give this a whisk. Combine these ingredients. And now we're going in with our bread flour or baker's flour. And this is 700 grams of flour. And that works out about 5 2/3 cups of flour. Now we just want to combine all the ingredients together. Now we're just going to go in with my hands and make sure all the flour is well hydrated, fully incorporated with the other ingredients. And I want to go ahead and scrape the sides of the bowl too and get all those bits incorporated into the dough. And as you can see, this is a rather sticky or tacky dough. Not too sticky that we can't handle it. So at this point, I just want to transfer it onto my work surface. And now we just want to give this a light kneading until it's a smooth ball. Now because we're using baker's flour or bread flour with that 12 grams of protein or more, you don't need to do a lot of kneading to develop gluten in this. And as you can see, it's a bit sticky and it will stick to your hands a little bit, but eventually all the dough will end up sticking to itself or adhering to itself as you keep kneading. So I've been kneading this for about 5 minutes, and as you can see, we have a nice smooth ball of dough now. So you don't need to take it further than this. We're good to go here. So now we're just going to place it back into our bowl. So you're going to cover this. So you're going to let this rise for a total of 60 minutes, 1 hour. But every 20 minutes, we're going to go in and do some stretching and folding, and that's going to give great structure to our bread. So we're gonna let this rest for the first 20 minutes and we're gonna come back and do the first stretch and fold. All right, so 20 minutes in, as you can see, we already have a nice rise going on. So I wet my hands a little bit so the dough wouldn't stick to my hands. And now we're just going to raise the dough like this and just kind of fold it over onto itself. Just let the dough hang and fold it over. Simple as that. Cover again and we're going for our next 20 minutes. All right, 40 minutes in, we're ready for the next set of stretching and folding. Again, you're just gonna fold it over itself like this, let it hang, and stretch and fold. All right, nice. To form the hops, you just want to hold it like this, stretch it onto itself, and every time you stretch and fold, you create a seam, and that will create tension. And once you have a nice tight ball, you're just going to rest it onto the surface like this, and just roll it, and we got a nice smooth ball here. And of course, you want to do this because when the dough rises on the final proofing, we want it to rise in a uniform way so we get some nice well-shaped hops. All right, so that's it for shaping our hops. So now we're just gonna cover this and allow it to rise for about 30 minutes or until they have doubled in size, and then it's into the oven. All right, so our hops has doubled in size. Now what we wanna do to ensure we get a nice flaky and crispy crust is to brush it with some melted vegetable shortening. Of course, if you have lard or if you have like beef tallow, you could use that as well. So just gonna brush the tops. All right, so we have a nice coating of fat on our outer crust for our hops. So we're gonna place these into a preheated oven at 400 degrees. We're gonna let this bake for 20 minutes. I'm also gonna add some hot water to the bottom tray in the oven to create some steam, and that's going to help form a real nice crust and a real nice browning on our hops. So our hops are out of the oven and they look and smell amazing. So now we want to remove these from the baking tray and put them on a rack to cool. And this is it here. Our hops are done. Nice crust on the outside and hearing that? Crispy, soft, but they have a little chew to it. That is the hops that I know and grew up with. See that? Kind of soft and chewy on the inside. Thin layer of flaky crust on the outside. So for me, the perfect way to enjoy hops is with some cheese and pepper sauce. That is all I need and a real good day. But let me know down in the comments how you like to enjoy your hops, whether it's hops and ham, hops and buljol, hops and chana, hops and chow mein. If you like this recipe, please give it a thumbs up, give it a share. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment to do so. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.